people that are in the position to actually know the people's names on the list, those people are probably in trouble.
Yeah.
Because that's a crazy piece of information to have.
Look,
no one's been tried. No one's been brought. No one's been discussed. We know who went there. We know flight logs. No one talks about anything. There's no effort to prosecute.
Even in death, the secrets of Jeffrey Epstein remain tightly guarded. But earlier this year, I spearheaded a Wired investigation that uncovered the data of almost 200 mobile phones belonging to visitors to his infamous peddling. The data was so precise, we were able to map the paths of these visitors to within centimeters, including their neighborhoods, buildings of origins, and the paths they took to get to the island.
The Ellen situation.
Yeah.
You know, people found out that Ellen was mean, and all these people came out and said, Ellen's actually a bitch. And then we were like, I can't believe it. And she lost everything. She fell apart, disappeared, because people found out that this character that she was portraying in a half an hour on a television show is not really who she was. My buddy Greg, who was one of her writers, was like, she's a monster.
For years, the world has wondered what Jeffrey "Music" Epstein was hiding. Rumor has it that beginning in 2003, Epstein rented storage units across Florida, filling them with evidence of his crimes. An inventory from one locker has now been obtained, and it confirms what investigators long suspected. They found training manuals, new graphs of victims, and 3 computers that were cloned by the FBI, but whose originals were never found. In the weeks since the release of millions of Epstein files, social media has erupted with eerie's. One of the most viral claims that Ellen DeGeneres had been acting as Epstein's madam for years. Music allegations so grotesque that they have been viewed millions of times. There's just one problem. Some insiders who have actually seen the evidence have been saying that it is music, entirely fabricated, while the rest swear that the evidence is real. And some shadowy person has been spreading misinformation so as to distract from the real evidence buried in the files. So today we separate fact from fiction. We examine what was really in Epstein's secret lockers, and we ask the question, is Ellen really incriminated in those files? And if so, who has been trying so hard to hide it?
Well, you know where that is too, right? It's a similar image to that, right?
No.
I know Jamie does.
What is it?
It's on the set of a famous talk show that's now not on anymore.
Oh, Ellen? Was that Ellen?
Yeah.
Really?
So, the Epstein files have unleashed something the world did not expect. Old moments that millions watched at the time, but now through a darker lens seem to mean something else entirely. Let's start with Ellen DeGeneres. When Donald Trump threatened to release the Epstein files, Ellen reportedly left the country. She and her wife Portia D. Rosie relocated to the English countryside. They bought a farmhouse and they said they were escaping the political climate. Jenner and Portia.
DeGeneres and Portia de Rosie moved to England after Trump election win. Ellen and Portia have settled into a new home in the Cotswolds, a region in southwest England about 2 hours from London. We're told that the couple scooped up the place before the election, but were very disillusioned with Trump's victory, and as one source put it, they immediately decided to, quote-unquote, get the hell out.
Music emails, not in confessions or criminal logs. But in the court of public reception, optics are everything. And the optics of Ellen's sudden departure, music, her quiet return, her old interviews with Bieber, her connections to Diddy, they form a pattern that millions are now examining. Now, as of a couple of weeks ago, Ellen DeGeneres is back and she lives in Montecito, California. It is a place of manicured lawns and gated driveways where the ultra-wealthy disappear behind hedges and security cameras. Her neighbors include the likes of Oprah Winfrey, Prince Harry, and Meghan Markle. Now, little-known piece of information is that Epstein's operation was very active in Montecito. You see, Epstein's power was never just about money. It was about access. Music access to the powerful, access to the influential, access to people who could open doors that no amount of cash could unlock. And when you look at the overlapping circles, music, Hollywood, London, the royal family, the question becomes unavoidable. Where do the connections end and the coincidences begin? In 2019, Ellen and Portia were photographed at a Dallas Cowboys music game. Sitting next to them, former President George W. Bush and his wife. The image went viral. Liberals were confused and conservatives, music, were intrigued. Ellen addressed it directly. Here's the thing. I'm friends with lots of people who don't share the same beliefs that I do. She called for kindness across differences. Music, that message of kindness and friendship. Across divides was Ellen's brand. It was the foundation of her public image. But in light of everything since, some have noted the irony. Some music of her friends, after all, have gone on to become convicted criminals. In August Music 2025, former writer Greg Fitzsimmons came forward with a different portrait of Ellen. He described her as rough and difficult to work with, recounting psychological tactics she allegedly used in the writer room. music emails, not in confessions or criminal logs. But in the court of public reception, optics are everything. And the optics of Ellen's sudden departure, music, her quiet return, her old interviews with Bieber, her connections to Diddy, they form a pattern that millions are now examining. Now, as of a couple of weeks ago, Ellen DeGeneres is back and she lives in Montecito, California. It is a place of manicured lawns and gated driveways where the ultra-wealthy disappear behind hedges and security cameras. Her neighbors include the likes of Oprah Winfrey, Prince Harry, and Meghan Markle. Now, little-known piece of information is that Epstein's operation was very active in Montecito. You see, Epstein's power was never just about money. It was about access. Music access to the powerful, access to the influential, access to people who could open doors that no amount of cash could unlock. And when you look at the overlapping circles, music Hollywood, London, the royal family, the question becomes unavoidable. Where do the connections end and the coincidences begin? In 2019, Ellen and Portia were photographed at a Dallas Cowboys music game. Sitting next to them, former President George W. Bush and his wife. The image went viral. Liberals were confused and conservatives, music, were intrigued. Ellen addressed it directly. Here's the thing. I'm friends with lots of people who don't share the same beliefs that I do. She called for kindness across differences. Music, that message of kindness and friendship. Across divides was Ellen's brand. It was the foundation of her public image. But in light of everything since, some have noted the irony. Some music of her friends, after all, have gone on to become convicted criminals. In August Music 2025, former writer Greg Fitzsimmons came forward with a different portrait of Ellen. He described her as rough and difficult to work with, recounting psychological tactics she allegedly used in the writer room.
I was a producer on the Ellen DeGeneres show, won 4 Emmys, and would give them all back to have that time in my life. I had an NDA where I couldn't talk about her. And then now that she fled to England, which to me, like, the deportation thing is starting out on the right foot. And I think she wanted to move to a country, England, where being called the C word is kind of like a good thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You kind of blend in a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not as harsh.
Yeah.
This is a stark contrast to the Be Kind mantra she sold to millions. The Epstein Files music have implicated Ellen's other friends like Bill and Hillary Clinton, though none have been formally accused of crimes related to Epstein. Bill Clinton testified before Congress, denying knowledge of Epstein's crimes. He acknowledged flying on Epstein's music private plane, but insisted it was for humanitarian work, and that he cut ties before music. The crimes became public. Hillary Clinton denied knowing Epstein personally, but files suggest otherwise. During her deposition, tensions rose. Photos were released of her testifying, and then abruptly she left in anger.
Did you see the Ellen DeGeneres set on her show was the same set as the Epstein Island? Oh, boy, you gotta relax. Bro, check it. Bro, look at it. Bro, the set. What was going on? Bro, it's crazy, bro.
So is Moana taking place on Epstein Island?
Bro, I don't know, bro.
What's Sebastian and Ariel on Epstein Island?
When you get a moment, go online and look at her set and look at the temple in the Epstein Island. They look the same. Oprah's name's outside now.
Yeah, but
about some school in Africa. Ellen DeGeneres just moved to England last year, and apparently she's escaped because started popping off.
Now, music let us be absolutely clear about one thing before we go further. Ellen DeGeneres has not been charged with any crime related to Jeffrey Epstein. There is no evidence linking her to music, trapness testimony placing her at illegal events, no document in the millions of release pages, music, that names her as a participant in a criminal thing. And yet, the public's trust in elite, media and social circles is eroding faster than music. Any fact check can keep up. Social media has become a fever swamp of speculation. Posts making extreme music and graphic accusations, including bizarre claims of canon linked to Epstein's music Hollywood. Elite circle, circulate by the millions. These allegations, music, are unproven, but they are also a symptom of deep mistrust, a symptom of a public that has watched music, powerful people escape, accountability for decades and now sees conspiracy in every shadow. Take a seemingly innocent moment, Ellen at the Oscars, music handing out pizza to hungry stars. At the time, it was a lighthearted gag, a celebrity moment captured for entertainment. Music now. Conspiracy theorists have connected it to the Pizzagate era, a dark, debunked theory that still haunts corners music of the internet.
What if in 2014 at the Oscars, they did a live auction for young people right in front of our noses, and all we did was laugh? Listen to this, and if you know, you know.
Hi. Hey, Jeffrey, how's everybody doing? Good? Anybody hungry? I just feel like everybody's going to be hungry right now. I was hoping you said that, because I have this crazy idea that I will order pizza. And so if I do, I don't want to eat pizza if I never guess.
The pizza, once a joke, is now to some a symbol of something sinister. Further speculation has linked Ellen to the tragic death of actress Anne Music. The claims are unsubstantiated, but in an environment where every death of a celebrity connected music to powerful people is now suspect, the whispers persist. And then there is the royal connection. Viral posts have joked about Ellen's possible royal bloodline, citing genealogical connections to Kate Middleton and Queen Elizabeth, through historical figures from the 1400s and King Edward III. These connections are distant, the kind that apply to millions of people of European descent. But in the fever swamp of online speculation, they have become yet another thread in the tapestry of suspicion. So what are we to make of all this? The royal connections are genealogical trivia. The pizza was just pizza. And yet the public is re-examining old footage, questioning the protection of young stars, wondering about the behavior of powerful adults, looking at moments they once found innocent, and asking, what music if we miss something? As things stand right now, the Epstein files are incomplete. They are redacted, music censored, and in many ways unsatisfying. Names are blacked out, but questions remain unanswered, and the public left to fill in the gaps has filled them with everything from legitimate concern to wild conspiracy. What we know is this: powerful people overlapped with Epstein. Some flew on his plane, some attended his parties, some appear in his emails, some do not. But their names have been dragged into the conversation anyway. Ellen DeGeneres moved to the UK. Music. The timing raised eyebrows. She returned to the US. The timing raised more eyebrows. But moving abroad is not a crime. Buying a farmhouse is not evidence. And living in the English countryside does not make someone the king's secret daughter. And yet the questions that remain are real. Why music do powerful names so often appear closely connected in emails, on planes, at parties, and then vanish from the public record music when questions are asked? Why are young celebrities like Justin Bieber so often positioned at the center of these elite networks, vulnerable, exposed, and then silent about what they may have witnessed? Why is transparency so elusive when the circles of power overlap with media, with royalty, with government? And why does every attempt to shed light seem to generate more heat than illumination? These are not questions about Ellen DeGeneres. There are questions about a system, a music system where access is currency, where secrets are power, and where the public is left to guess at what happens behind closed doors. The files are incomplete. The answers are not all in. And music, perhaps they never will be. So are these connections mere coincidences, or do they reveal something more complex, more hidden within the elite social structures that shape our world? The answer remains elusive. But the dialogue, the demand for transparency, for accountability, music for truth is far from over. What do you think? Coincidence or concealment? Let me know your opinions in the comments. Till next time, bye!